Well, welcome back. Now, 2 people have been killed in a chieftaincy violence in Bunkpurugu, Yonyo, in the northern region. A misunderstanding which ensued between 2 families from the same ethnic group led to this. Now, the 2 have been embroiled in a chieftaincy dispute over the period, and this escalated over the weekend. We can now cross over to the region and speak to ASP Felix Kumado, who is the commander of the region. Hello, ASP. Yes, sir. Can you tell us much more about this particular incident?
Well, you know, Bunkpurugu district has protracted chieftaincy dispute for some time now. And this has been a problem for us over here. That is between the Jafok and the Jamon gate. And it's pending before the courts, and as of now, the courts have been adjourning the case until on the 18th of October last year, when this thing brought some confrontation, and there was a fight between the 2 gates, and 1 person died. And then the issue, we went about it and then preached peace to them, as if the issue has gone down, and there was peace prevailing in the town until 3 days today, when 1 teacher died in the Jafok family. And then, according to the Jafok, when they were going to bury the teacher, the Germans were hooting at them. And we went in and found out that no, there's nothing to prove what they were saying. So we spoke to the 2 gates that they should maintain the peace. And things were moving on smoothly. Until yesterday around 5 p.m. when I had information that there was shooting in the town. I came out and there was shooting all over the town, and then I got to organize my men. We came in, and before we realized there was shooting all over, burning of houses and other things going on, with a number of people rushing to seek refuge at the police station. So we came in and then confronted the station and brought the shooting down. And when we went around, we realized that 2 people were killed in the violence. So we removed the bodies and sent them to Naregu Hospital, deposited them at the mortuary for post-mortem today. And then the whole place was dark yesterday. There was total darkness, blackout. And we informed the regional commander, who also informed the regional minister, that because of the situation on ground, they should kindly give us light yesterday. But it's like VRA could not heed our plea, and the darkness prevailed until this morning, when we have to go around to check those houses which were burnt. And then in all, we had 24 houses which were burnt, 10 belonging to the Jafok gate. The Jafok gate is the gate where the incumbent chief comes from, and 14 houses burned for the Jamon gate, which is the contending gate. So as at now, we had a reinforcement of policemen and military personnel on the ground, and the situation is under total control as at now.
I see.
And then we are going around our investigation to know, to apprehend the perpetrators of the crime, to bring them to book.
Okay, so ASP, if I get you correctly, it means as of now you haven't been able to make any arrest whatsoever.
As at now, we will not be able to make any arrest because of the situation. Now that we are putting things right, now that we are gathering intelligence about the perpetrators of the crime. So any more from now, we will start making arrests if we are very sure of those people who are involved.
Okay, so how about security as of now? How secure is the place? How volatile is the situation?
The situation in the town now is under firm control.
Some level of control, you say?
Yeah, police and military men are at the advantage, but the flash points, and with all the vital installations under serious guard. So as at now, calm has returned to the town.
I see. Okay. All right. Are there any specific arrangements to forestall any skirmishes in the area?
Yes. we're going to meet with the two gates and then make sure we talk to them so that they will maintain the peace.
Okay. Finally, just before you go, sir, the two casualties, the two people who died, have you been able to ascertain their identities yet?
Yes. One is Mr. David Wab. He is working at the Ghana Education Service, Mumpurugu.
Okay.
And then one Baba Zero is a businessman in town.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much.
They are all from the Jaffo Gate.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that update. That's ASP Felix Kumador. He brought us up to speed with that particular situation. Now, moving on to some court issues now. A high court in Accra has adjourned hearing of the contempt case against the opposition New Patriotic Party. Join News Annie Sabute was in court and joins us now with some details. Hello, Annie.
Hi, Governor.
Annie, first, could you please give us some background to this case? How did it come about in the first place?
Okay, somewhere last year in March, ahead of the NPP's delegate congress, all the constituencies were supposed to compile their albums based on which, they'll contain the official name for the delegates who are supposed to vote in the election.
True.
After Komeo, Juabin, and not mentioned North, some of the party officials believed that the process was not properly compiled, and therefore they took the issue to court. And they filed a process at the High Court restraining the party from going ahead using the booklet, or what they call as an party album, in the voting process. So if you recall, even ahead of the National Delegate Conference of the NPP in Tamale, this particular constituency did not vote in the process. So on the 23rd of March, they filed the process at the High Court. 28th March, that same month last year, the High Court, and the parties agreed that they ought to go into consent judgment. And by that, it means that they've agreed that, let us all come to terms and that the album will not be used. So that particular consent judgment was agreed. However, one of the party members from Juabin filed a process at the Supreme Court asking that the Supreme Court quash that consent judgment. So it was based on that they went to the Supreme Court, and by unanimous decision, the Supreme Court affirmed the decision taken by the High Court that the process ought to be rerun in the three constituencies. So those who won filed the party, according to them, stepped the party to have the processes rerun. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So this year, for example, 23rd, the party issued a circular asking interested parties who want to contest for parliamentary seats in the various constituencies, including the three disputed areas, to come forward. However, they feel that is the applicants feel that it's in breach of the High Court ruling, which was equally affirmed by the Supreme Court. So they filed a contempt charges against the party chair, Paul Foko, and that of the General Secretary, Kobne Japan. So today, we went to court to hear that particular application.
Okay, so you were in court today. What happened? What transpired in court?
Okay, let me also say that a lot of party supporters from this disputed constituency came to the court, actually. Some of them were yelling, they were even threatening, essentially, that, look, the way the album is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because they did vote in the flag bearer during the election that won Nana Adodankwa, the flag bearership. They used the same album to vote, and therefore they do not see the reason why that same album should be challenged. And because they believe that one of the parties who has brought the issue to court is interested in contesting as a member of parliament. And therefore, he just want to have his own way to have the album changed, start in with his own people, so that he could get an army to, leapfrog him, so that he can become, an MP. And therefore, they came to the court. However, lawyer for the applicant, that is Gary Nemako, and that of the respondent, that is Unicolin, who was representing the NPP, did agree that, it is a party issue, it's a party affair. It's important for us to go and deal with this internally. So they've agreed. They'll go back to the court on the 17th, all right. But from the conversation that went on in court, they've agreed that it's a party issue, and therefore they will want to go home and settle the issue as a family.
Okay, so now they prefer settling the issue out of court then?
Exactly. But on the 17th, when we go to the court, then it is now the court will have to now determine whether or not grant them that particularly, because the judge made it a point that even a service to the party chair and that of Cabinet Japan, the service was done in short notice, and that they did not even have enough time to prepare properly before the court. But before the court, last night, for example, I had a document, which is a statement actually was written by Cabinet Japan, which was signed by him, informing which was copied to the party chairman and the party executive, Ashanti regional executive, that the disputed areas, that is Jaben, Manshia North, and Komeo, should not have their elections take place during the primaries to select a member of parliament. And therefore, the same party letter was issued to the court as well. But as it stands now, they've all agreed that they have to go back and, resolve the issue as a family matter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anio Sabute, with that report over there. Now, we can do some other stories now. And HelpAge Ghana is accusing government of running down the country's health insurance system. Executive Director of the organization, Ebenezer Ajite Sose, in an interview on the AM show this morning, said government's failure to focus the needed attention on the scheme is leading to its collapse.
To me, we've done enough persuasion. It is an issue of priority. We've done enough persuasion. And I personally would not also accept the argument that we don't have the resources. No country had never had enough resources to do something. It's a matter of priority. And to begin with, we can start in a very small way. So to me, any social investment is an investment. We are growing older. Even the policymakers will grow old. And if they see it from that point, I think we could get there.
He adds that for the scheme to be revived, a conscious effort should be made at ridding the system of the corruption it's currently bedeviled with.
The issue of tackling corruption in the national health insurance. Within this country, we've heard reports of names of people who attended government hospitals being used to also make claims in private hospitals. That is corruption. I've just mentioned people who are not qualified for exemption, being given exemption. That is corruption. So to me, the money is there. And I've already said, there's no country which has so much before doing anything. It's a matter of priority. The money is there. Let us look at the premium. Let us reduce the corruption. Let government release the funding meant for the national health insurance on time to be invested. And things will gradually improve. Of course, we also have to check the abuse in the system. We have gone around. And the fact is that some of the beneficiaries are also abusing the national health insurance. We need to put in place systems to check it. People cannot be going to hospitals anyhow. Of course, we're talking about health. But we have encountered situations where people are just abusing the national health insurance. I'm talking about the beneficiaries, and that needs to be checked. We need to see this as a national agenda, as a national gift, and let us all work towards making it sustainable.
Wow. With barely 2 months for the tenure of current DC boss Kojo Aferijan to expire, many other names that have popped up to be next in line to fill the seat. Now, synonymous with these names and personalities are characteristics of firmness and resilience. But on top of all that, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, Fritz Bafo, is calling for a new EC boss who is completely neutral and well-versed in election law.
The EC and the kind of reforms that we can initiate within the organization. It's done its job well, but you need to be proactive, and so it's very, very important. The fact that we had a petition that went to court for a long time meant that there are certain areas that have got to be looked at. And then with the sad situation that happened with regards to the district assembly elections a couple of months ago, we have to look at how we do things. And I think it's very, very important that we come out with a non-partisan approach where all the stakeholders are involved. Yes, Farijan has done his work, and he's done very, very well. Considering the situation, the fact that he's reduced the tension of the election atmosphere that prevails at all times, and the fact that he's brought a certain sense of gravitas into the situation. So I won't be critical of him. Everybody has his foibles and has his mistakes. But if we are going to replace him, then we have to replace him with someone formidable, just as formidable as he is, and someone who is completely neutral. Because any hint of bias will create unnecessary tensions in the society. And I think that we really need somebody who's well versed in electoral law and electoral practices. We need somebody who is perceived as neutral by all political parties, which will be a little difficult. We need somebody who is calm. We need somebody who also cares enough about the country and the greater good of the country. And so, therefore, it's a very, 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 very hard task for the president, because with the advice of the Council of State, he appoints the chairman of the EC, and that we have to do it that way. Any other way, then we're opening the door for mayhem.
Well, so who is going to be the new EC boss? I'm not sure I have the answer to that, but I'll be back with some more after this break.
We're in Ankafo maximum security prison. We have been granted unprecedented access to perhaps the most popular convict in Ghana, Ayi Ayite. You may know him as Atai, but we've just learned that's not his name.
All those pictures that they put over there is not my picture. Even the name that they were giving to me is not my name. I was not calling Atai. My name is Ayi Ayite.